Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair rouge raiders, and this is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge. Well, I believe it's time we continued where we, last left off, with our pale dragon Spartans. Oh, yes. Now, as you may have guessed, Bell, after seeing the events that have unfolded, went to go talk with his father, asking him what was that all about. Naturally, Leonidas says, a pompous, arrogant, asinine dastard wishes for me to kneel before him on his gateway into supposed Athens, to conquer all of Greece in his name. And he expected us to bow, to kneel. Does he not know us? Oh, he does. And he still expected us to kneel. He's either very, very, very confident, or he's very stupid. Father, which is it? Confidence, I hate to say. How confident? Several armies worth of men? Only that? As well as several mages? Only several? Possibly several hundred. Only that? And possibly different mounted creatures and units that we've never faced before. I see. Pardon me a moment. As Bell begins to pull out, a quill and a scroll, as Leonidas asks him, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm writing a prayer." "Are you scared?" "No, I have to thank the gods for this bountiful feast that's been set before us. Who knew that our opponent would be so generous as to send us such a bounty of, fresh lives to reap? For meat to be grinded by our powerful machine of war. It may not be that simple, boy, I know. The solstice is coming. And judging by the way you dispatched that messenger, I'm sure that this person isn't going to be all too patient to wait. At most, I'd bet he'd send one more messenger to either investigate what happened to the first, or present you with final demands. By the way, what do you do to deserve being tossed in there besides insulting you? Usually you don't mind that. He insulted your mother. Ah, good call. Very good call. I understand that now. Yes. To be fair, I'm glad you did it. I would have done a lot worse. Hear that, or Xander? Xander loves mother. Xander loves mother very much. It's like his own mother. I swear, you boys. Now, what have you been doing? Training, honing our skills, as well as fortifying the, city. As you can tell, we started restructuring the walls, as well as building ballista. Ballista? Yes, it's something new that's come across from Cuchulain's table. These powerful machines of war. But we already have something similar. Yes, the Scorpion, but these ballista are much more powerful. Not to mention the way he's organized it, they could be fired at a much more, well, a much higher rate of fire. Oh? How so? Oh, and something about interlocking or interweaving mechanisms. As one bolt is loosed, it powers the pulley mechanism and locks in the second one. All we have to do is keep a fresh supply of bolts for both ends, which is met quite easily with a simple loading system. Interesting. Maybe you picking up that strange dark elf wasn't such a bad idea after all. I know, right? It was completely strange to me as well. For a crazy old bastard, he is a crazy old bastard. He does things very well. I see. So, tell me. Yes, Father? When do you plan on taking over the throne? As Belle just goes, what? Well, I'm getting old in age. I can't keep slaying and killing things from time to time. I need to get an exact age on which you're going to, man up and send me out to pasture. You're plenty young, Father. No need to put you out to pasture yet. Uh-huh. This has nothing to do with you wanting to avoid responsibility. I don't avoid responsibility. How many of the meetings have you gone to? 10 out of 20. 10 that you showed up late for. To be fair, I was preoccupied with taking care of the city that you told me to. Belle. You have to learn that being a king is more than just looking out for your people and keeping them happy. It is about doing what is right for them and making hard decisions. Your life is no longer your own. Your life belongs to that of the people. Do you understand? Yes, Father, I understand. But I'd at least like to enjoy my youth for a few more years if tolerable. I suppose this old man could give you that much at least. Who knows? Maybe my good-for-nothing son will give me an heir to replace him in those few years, and he could sit on the throne in your stead. Father? Yes? Shut up. As Bell takes his leave and, proceeds to go and back into the barracks. As he basically has a sit down with all of his men, telling them that they will need to refortify and then refortify again. Before this battle commences, they will need to make themselves stronger and better. Be able to be renewable or at least be able to hold out for years, maybe decades. For they do not know how long or how vast this army will be. As Jace pipes in and says, "Are you sure they'll be coming here? My father insulted them. And when my father insults someone, it has a bad habit of, irritating them as a bee does landing on the genitalia of a male lion. Very, very severely. And it also wounds the pride." I see. So we're expecting a full-on assault. We're expecting a full-on siege. These Persians. They will be coming at us en masse. And from what I've told, they hold several armies to their disposal. And even more so than several armies, they hold a lot of prowess with not only the money to supply them, but the cavalry to support them. Cavalry? Strange. Very. But we'll show them we show them all. That Spartan spears are meant to hold the line, and Spartan shields will be the wall that they crumble on. They will not pass beyond our walls, nor will they go unscathed approaching it. And when everything's said and done, we will build new walls over the bodies in which they made and supplied us with. And in turn, fortify our newest grounds with them as a whole. You know, Belle, you can be pretty gruesome sometimes. Yeah. Fine. I thought it was being pretty epic, but no. Belle, you gotta learn to tone it down a little. Fine, Lander, I'll try to restrain myself in the future. Xander then pipes up. I don't think he needs to learn restraint. I just think he needs to learn sticking to one subject for long periods of time. Of course, then again, he probably wouldn't have gotten his nickname otherwise. You really going there, huh? Yep. You want to take this outside, Lander? Xander? I don't mind facing the two of you. After all, you might actually stand a chance if it's both of you against me. Oh, the big bad Bell is challenging his loyal retainers to another brawl just because his feelings are getting hurt. I'm challenging you to a brawl because y'all are fun to fight. As Basil gets next to them and next to Bell and pops him right upside the back of his head. You idiot! Ow, what the hell, Basil? You are a moron. You need to calm down and think. Calm down and think. I've thought of everything. Have you thought about this? As Basil brings out a crumpled note. Huh? There is a traitor in your midst. What? Yes, I got that from my informant. Apparently, there is a traitor amongst the Spartan Corps. None of us, I've made sure of that already. But amongst Sparta themselves, probably someone of high ranking. Someone has been bought by King Xerxes. If the battle comes here, it'll be disastrous. For a traitor with enough power could let them in. And or have our own brothers fight against our own brothers. That pisses me off. So does it I. So, we find the traitor, slay them, and then take care of it. No. What? That would only solve a temporary's problem. The betrayer, the traitor, the plebeian knave that thinks it's a good idea to betray us will turn a martyr if we just murder someone with no proof. Not to mention, we have no idea who it is. Talking about finding them and finding them is two different things. Bell. We need to work together. All of us, as the Pale Dragons, the Guardians of Sparta. As some of the soldiers begin to whisper. You're right. We need to work together and band together. For we are brothers in arms. Shield siblings, every one of us. And we will fight and die to protect our people. Am I right? They all begin to holler in unison. All right. Now, let's come up with a plan. Jace, yeah? Your bloodied talons. Pardon me. As Basil says, Jace, your bloodied talons. We should scatter amongst the city in civilian clothing, trying to figure out and search for who is responsible. I have a few neophytes that would be good for this. They don't stand to the strict discipline as some of the others, but they should be able to do fine. Good. Lander, Xander. These two. Yeah, what do you want, Basil? Can't I catch a break just once? No. Considering Jace is going to be preoccupied with this, you and your men need to be on extra guard. And we're going to need police forces. Police forces? Yes. We need someone to guard over the areas internally and externally. Xander, you and your forces are best for guarding the exterior. You are all powerful, brutish, and most importantly, stubborn. As a lot of them begin to get a bit irritated. You forgot to say handsome! Xander pipes up, saying, Yes, and modest as well. Damn straight. Lander, yeah. Your people will be guarding the city itself internally, trying to check for any threats. What do you say, boss? I say it's a good idea. Basil may not be a lot, but Basil may be a few things, but a strategist is one of them. When he comes up with a good plan, it's a good plan. Right. And what about Analia? Where does she stand in on this? Yes, dear Basil, where would you have me? She says in a confident tone. Well, simple, Miss Analia. I would suggest you and your compatriots find something to preoccupy your time with, as your assistance will not be required. Oh, such a shame. The big, strong Basil can't handle a bit of help. Or do you just not know how to handle me and my people? She says in a very venomous way. I know how to handle plenty of people, plenty of ways. However, you're a mage. Magic is not something I'm attuned with, nor will it ever be something I'm attuned with. If you want someone to give you orders, to tell you what to do, and to bark at you, you go to Bell. If you want someone to preoccupy you with busy work, you go to Jace. If you want someone to revel and have fun with, or brawl against, you go to Xander or Lander. If you want someone who can tell you how and where to put you in a place, do not come to me, because I do not know how to best exploit your skills. as Bell states. Oh, dear cousin. I have the perfect thing for you, Miss Analia. Yes, Bell? Simple. You and your companions will be assisting me on a personal matter. Personal, indeed. I need a good entourage, as well as some people who are gifted in mystics. Your people meet both of those requirements. Oh, and what about your own entourage? Don't get me wrong, but a few hundred men clad in full armor, while very fun to walk around with, can be quite noisy. You make up a smaller division in my army. However, it is still important. We can move quicker, quieter, and, well, have better conversation. Very well. As everything is set, as Bell is now ready, and everything pretty much goes according to plan. Xander and his troops take up the high point, guarding on the walls, overseeing for the next week or so. Lander him and his men, his legion, are patrolling on the inside, guarding from whatever threat may occur. Jace and his neophytes are searching around for any type of information or any type of underground dealings. Basil and his, they're helping with research into different types of defensive batteries as well as defensive fortifications. And Bell is going one step ahead of his father. Bell is going to see the priests. Oh yes, the very same ones who tell them that they can see the gods and talk to them, that they know what they're doing. Bell goes to see and talk with. The reason he has the shimmering tail along with him is just in case the priests act up and wish to cause him harm. For as they get there, Bell immediately walks up the long, winding staircase to their, I guess you would call it, temple. As he reaches the very top of the stairs and prepares entry, he is greeted by a priest. And this priest tells him, "Please do come in, son of Leonidas, Prince of Sparta." Bell rolls his eyes gently as he enters in, not liking the ceremony. This place has always filled me with dread. As it should. It is a catacombs. A catacombs is where you make your temple. A catacombs is where we will honor the dead. The ones that have been worthy of falling and falling in battle. the ones that have done so over and over, they are remembered. This place is this place where those bodies that have no remains left are put, their names engraved upon the wall. I see. So, what do you wish to talk about, young Bell? Simple. Where are the other priests? They're here. Would you mind gathering them together? This is something for all of them. Very well. As Bell sits down and gets comfortable, the other priests enter and they seem, well, irritated would be putting it lightly, upon being intruded upon. You come here with no sacrifice and then demand our presence. What a foolish princeling you are. If it wasn't for the fact that I owe your father a life debt, I would gladly refuse this offer. As Bell sits and looks dead at him, with fury in his eyes. And if that's the case, I'll tell him all your lies are lies. The gods live in the land of Oreo. They walk as human once more. They haven't communed with you in years, decades. And you claim to know their thought? You claim to know what they ask? I will give you one chance, old men. Whenever my father arrives and asks you to let him and his legion fight, him and his army go to war, you will make this exception, or I will spill everything to him, destroying your foundation, your pillars of faith that you cling to with ever-waning security. And I will watch as you are all burned at the stake for heresy, as well as deceit. You say so many vibrant words there, young Bell. But you owe us a life debt as well. After all, who trained the apothecary that saved you after you were struck by lightning? If Zeus did not answer our prayers, then why would he... then why did he spare you? You have me there. Zeus may have spared me, he may have blessed me, or he may have cursed me. But I do know this. The gods live in the land of Oreo. The only one left that I know of that's still above is Zeus. And you think that by mentioning his name and connection to me that I will falter? No. You think that by telling them they have one God that may be listening to them will help you? No. For there is one thing you forget. We are Spartans, and Spartans hate to be deceived. Now, do you wish for true punishment, or will you allow my father to go to war, to wage it proper? Young man, you underestimate who you're dealing with. No, old men, I do not. You are a bunch of wrinkled old piles of bone with little to no life left in you. I know a man who has been around for decades, nearing a century, and he has more life in you than any of you have in your in your entire existence. You're pathetic, clinging to whatever power that was given to you for your false prophecies and parlor tricks. I've about had enough of this conversation. So, yes or no, will you allow my father to fight properly? As two of the priests get very upset and begin to stand up, ready to lash out, the middle one sits them both down and says, "Yes, Bell, yes, of course, Your Highness. Please, we will gladly tell your father he needs that he will be that it will be more than welcome for him to face this upcoming threat properly. Thank you." As Bell begins to walk off. However, that's not the end of it. For as he leaves, he can hear them bickering and yelling at each other. But he does not care. As long as they keep their word, he will be fine. However, the priests, they do not see fit to do so. For as Leonidas arrives, telling them that the Persians are near, and that they will need to bring an army of his force, to bring an army of his to fight them proper, he is told that the solstice is upon them, that the ritual is almost at hand, and that no fighting shall be done on that day, on that month, or that week. I know, I went in a weird order. As Leonidas stands, ready to shout in anger at them for being fools, he tells them, well, they tell him, they do not care what he thinks of them. For they are the priests and must do what is right for the betterment of their people. And as Leonidas walks away, you can see the priest in the center twirling around a golden coin. A golden coin with King Xerxes' head on it. Oh yes, things are beginning to heat up, and I'll tell you all more about it later. This was kind of a bit of a filler, exposition, getting things properly in motion to grease the wheels for a longer rendition and trial ahead. I hope you all enjoyed, and be prepared. The next episode is going to be where the fun begins. Bye for now.